Season 3 FNCS just finished this past weekend, and over $3 million in prizes was won across all the regions. The two big regions with massive prize pools are EU, where first place walked away with $300,000, and NA East, where first place walked away with $160,000. Unfortunately though, a controller player didn't win in any region this season. In EU, there wasn't even a single controller player within the top 10 duos. However, on NA East, in second place came one of the best duos, that is Booga, and probably the best controller player of all time, Mero, and they each walked away with $50,000. And then in sixth place was last season's FNCS winners Peterbot and controller player Bylah, who each walked away with $16,000. So the first settings that I'm trying have to come from Mero. After this FNCS, he now has a total winnings of over $550,000. And his settings are going to start on a 0.1 slide hold time. He uses the default pitch and 0.1 camera setting. His build multiplier is 2.4, edit multiplier is 2.3. A little interesting that he goes one lower on the edit, usually it's the opposite. But his look sense is 43% on both horizontal and vertical with 0 boost on any of that. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised how fast his build and edit sense is. 2.4 and 2.3 multipliers on 43% look is super fast. But then his ADS slows down a little bit, with him having 8% on horizontal and 10% on vertical with a 1% boost and a 0-second turning boost ramp time. And the reason his horizontal is a little bit slower is for tracking purposes. Mero's AR aim, like his tracking and specifically his long range aim, is actually insane. And to do that, you kind of have to have a little bit lower of a horizontal ADS sense. A thing pro players talk about is storm surge aim, which is basically all just super long range aim where you're getting tags on players to avoid storm surge. And Mero has maybe the best storm surge aim on controller. It's actually crazy. And then his vertical sense is a little bit higher, so he can flick up to people's heads easier. Then the 1% boost, it's literally so minimal, like you'll barely be able to even notice it, but I guess that's what he's comfortable on. Then there's a 0-second look dampening time. These are all linear settings. And then his dead zones, he uses 8 for both left and right stick. Now to anyone copying the settings, don't copy his exact dead zone, because Mero actually plays double claw on a standard PS4 controller. So his controller, those dead zones worked fine, but every controller is different. Mero also uses absolutely 0 extra control accessories. He literally just plays on the standard PS4 controller, which I find kind of crazy. What? Holy bro, I haven't played Arena in so long, dude. These guys are so sweaty. You might have been able to tell just from those 2 little fights right there. This sense, especially the build and edit, feels a little fast right now. I will say this probably just because I've been on pretty slow exponential settings recently. Okay. Bro, I love high pin. Thank you, bro. You know, I've always kind of wondered why pros don't use any attachments on their controller at all. I can understand not wanting like a paddle attachment, that sort of stuff, but even just like grips are literally so nice. Even like trigger stops. I don't know why they don't, but so many like massive pro players just choose to use the very standard console controller. Bro, that's so unfortunate. I'm being completely honest, Mero's settings right now are way too fast for me. Like I said, for the past like month, I've been using relatively slow exponential settings, so I think these are really good settings. I'd have to spend way more time getting used to them. But no, I'm kind of excited to try Bylah's settings because I think I'm gonna like them a lot more. The settings that got him to 6th place start on a 0.06 slide hold time. The default camera stuff, pitch 0.1. For build and edit multipliers, he's only at 2.0, which I think I'm gonna like way more than Mero's. 2.0 is definitely a bit more manageable. But for look sense, Bylah's on the same 43% horizontal and vertical, but he adds a 2% turning boost. For his ADS, it's also very similar. It's only 1% less on both. Honestly, makes me think that he modeled his settings off of Mero's. They kind of have this same sort of similar settings, where like vertical is more than horizontal, and they're using like 1% boost. So for Bylah, that's a 7% horizontal and 9% vertical with 1% turning boost on both of those. 0-second here, 0-second look damage time, linear again, and then for his dead zones, he goes 10% on the left stick and 8% on right stick. So I mean, right away, this is so much more comfortable to me. I feel like I'm gonna be way more consistent on this build and edit, and hopefully with ADS being just a tad slower, that aim will be better too. For Bylah's setup, he actually plays on a standard Xbox One controller with right-hand claw. Just like Mero and a ton of the other pros, he also doesn't use any other control accessories. I actually think not that long ago, he did use a control freak, but then like a few months ago, he stopped. So at this point, his total earnings on that setup is about $120,000, which is honestly kind of an insane amount of money because he really wasn't that known until just last season. This dude is like a master escape artist right now. Finally, bro. Thank you. He's either insane at running or I'm just terrible at fighting. Honestly, it could be either or. I have kind of noticed my SMG aim on both these guys' settings has not been the greatest. It's super shaky and super inconsistent. I do think that's just kind of something that comes with using the settings a lot. Like, you'll develop that. As far as the aim goes on these settings, it feels the exact same as Mero's because it basically is. And I still just think that might be a little fast. But I can definitely say that the build and edit is way better. What the... Bro. I didn't see anyone for so long, and now these guys are being so weird. I'm really not even playing that bad right now. It's just arena. It's the way it goes. He's gonna boom battle me. Let's check the aim. Nope. Dang, bro. Let's go. Ah, there we go. At least some decent aim right there. Wasn't really missing too many shots. I've been thinking a little bit if I want to switch back to linear or stay on exponential that I've been using, and I keep going back and forth. One day I'll really like exponential, and the next day I'll really like linear. It just keeps changing. If you watch a lot of my videos, let me know which one you think I'm better on. Yeah, bro, I was dead to zone anyway. Between the two settings, I think I probably like Bylah's more. But I mean, as far as aim goes, they're literally the same. I would definitely say that they're pretty solid settings overall. Literally, the only thing that's weird about them is that they're linear. But if you play on linear often, then you'll actually probably love these settings. Basically, every pro player uses some variation of these. So, I mean, objectively, they're good settings. Oh, I'm actually so much better in creative. I got carried away, but those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching.